All right, you ready? Today we're going to do part 2 and complete the review of the Ultron X3. Welcome to the Vapor Trail channel. I'm Tony, and yeah, today we're going to complete the review of the Ultron X3 electric scooter. You know, I say that because scooter denotes like something that puts down the road, like I'm just scooting down the road, you know, that kind of thing. This thing is anything but that. I would say it's more like an electric rocket or something. No, I don't know, but it's definitely a high-powered vehicle, and you have to realize that when you get it. So on their website, they list this as a high-speed performance electric scooter, the Ultron X3. The price is listed at $2,280. That is US dollars, and you will have to pay shipping for this, but they will cover any kind of customs duties or anything like that for the US and for Europe. The scooter comes in black, and it has a 32 amp 60 volt battery in it. While we're looking at the website, let's look at some specs. It is the X3. She's a big girl at 105 pounds. This is a heavy scooter. This is not something that I'm easily picking up and putting in the back of my truck or something like that. As a matter of fact, if I'm taking this somewhere, I ride to that location. Well, I have put it in my truck and taken it to another location, but it took two people to get it up inside the truck. They say the load capacity on this is a max of 330 pounds. I weigh about 195. The more weight that you have, the more it will affect the range on this, which they're saying that the range is 43 to 49 miles on this personal electric vehicle. And at 195 pounds, I'm not getting that far on it. I'd say I'm pushing it at about 35 miles on range. They say the max speed on this is 52 to 59 miles per hour. And I'll tell you, the fastest I've gotten on this was 35, maybe 37 miles per hour. That was according to one of those neighborhood radars that you see on the street. And I know that I could get more speed out of this, but I haven't because, like I said in my previous video, it's slightly terrifying to go a lot more than that. I mean, 35 miles per hour is just enough for me. This uses dual hydraulic brakes, and these are nice stout brakes on this thing. It has 2 ports for charging. It does come with 1 charger, but if you want to buy a second one, you can plug into the second port and you'll get much faster charging. If you have 1 charger, the charging time is 12 hours. I also looked at some of their Q&A on the website that somebody had asked, hi, is the shipping time to Europe or the US 4 to 7 business days or 5 to 20 days? And they're saying this is 4 to 7 business days without tax. Somebody asked if there's a limiter on this, and no, this is no modifications to get the top speed on this. But if you don't want to have all that power, you can run both motors because it has dual motors, or you can just run one of them. You can go in eco mode and single motor. You can go in turbo mode, dual motor. I'll tell you that if you do that though, this thing has got so much power. I mean, I literally peeled out and wheelied at the same time. That was when I was running dual motors and turbo. But somebody had asked about the max speed in solo/eco mode, and they said that the solo eco first gear is good at 14 to 15 miles per hour, second gear 20 miles per hour, 48 miles per hour, and third gear. So it has dual motors, 2 3,000 watt motors. They have a high security 18650 power lithium battery, high rate and high power supply, intelligent battery management system, safe and durable performance. And with the dual motors, it uses an intelligent dynamic distribution of front and rear wheel traction, making the handling much more swift. There are 2 controllers at 45 amps. It's made of mostly aluminum alloy. And as you may or may not have seen in my unboxing and assembly video, the whole entire thing folds down. You can fold the handlebars down, and then you can fold the whole rudder down, lock it into the back. You know, once I got that thing set, I'm like, I've just left it that way, but if I needed to make it more compact, great. But it's not something that I'm gonna fold down and carry all over the place because it's heavy, it's 105 pounds. In particular, the front end of this is super heavy, and I think that's because that's where the controller is on that. It uses a C-type suspension system, and I gotta tell you, that suspension system, man, it is nice. It makes this thing just ride like a, I don't know, like you're riding on a cloud. So I do try to answer the questions that I find in the comments, and one of the questions on the previous video I did for this, the person asked if there's split rims on this for changing your tires out. As far as I can tell, it is. I have a question into them and asking them that. So if I get an answer to that, I will put it down in the description or as a pinned comment or something. But from what I can tell, it looks like, yes, they are split rims. So you take out the bolts, take the rim apart, put it all back together. It's a lot like the electric skateboards that I have. And by the way, if you're thinking about that price, I mean, that is, I've paid that much for an electric skateboard, and you definitely don't get that much vehicle out of that. And the other question that he asks is it okay that the controller is in the front? Like I say, I don't really know. I don't know if they put them in the back on some of these things or what the deal is, but as far as how this thing is performed, I don't see anything that's gonna damage that controller there in the front, so there you go. This is my first one in this class, super powerful and everything else, so I'm doing my best and I'll learn more as I go along, so thanks for the questions. Now, what I understand is that places like Indonesia and Malaysia, where they don't all have cars and stuff, these are super popular, and that's one of the reasons why you need something that goes that fast, because they take these things literally on their highways there, and to me, that's insane, but hey, if it it works for you, great. Now, I don't own a Nanrobot, a Bronco, or a Dualtron, so I can't really compare them. I haven't even ridden any of those other ones. This is literally my first PEV or electric scooter that is in this class. I mean, this thing is, wow. I compare this to, you know, if I were to compare my other scooters to this would be like if I had a, you know, an expensive sports car as opposed to my nice little putting around town smart car, that type of thing. So yeah, this thing is beyond anything that I've ridden as far as scooters goes. And like I said, I don't even know if I'd want to call it a scooter because it's not putting, man. You're not scooting, you're flying. But in reference to those other scooters, yeah, I definitely would like to try those out. And who knows, maybe I will. By the way, customer service is really fast. I had a broken fender on arrival, the back fender, the little tab was broken off of it. They sent me a new fender right off the bat. Some things that I really like about it, that key ignition, that's, you know, that means I can take that key with me and I can lock it up. But I know that this thing being 105 pounds and the fact that they don't have a key for it, most people that are going to steal these things know it's not going to do them a whole lot of good, even if they do get it. You do have to get a little used to that trigger, the throttle on there, because it's in a weird position. I mean, it's like I have to kind of reach up and get that, and then right behind that is the brake. After a few rides, it was no big deal, and most of these are configured that way. It's just something that's a lot different if you're used to a small little scooter with a little throttle on it. The lights on this thing are top notch, man. Those two headlights in the front, they are super bright. What I did is aimed one down and one a little bit more straightforward, so I light my path ahead of me and right in front of me. Works great. These things are bright. The back, you've got those two little lights on the side, but you also have that one in the middle there, and you've got your turn signals on that. I don't know if anybody's gonna see you use those turn signals because it's small and it's down at the ground level, but hey, it's nice that you have those. And of course, you also have those lights lining the bottom of it, which looks cool and I guess kind of illuminates the ground around you. Again, that suspension, that is top notch. It's one of the things that I don't love about, I don't mind the little commuter scooters. They're fine. It's just that the problem is they can ride a little bit rough, and I don't always have smooth streets to ride on or sidewalks that don't have lines in them. So it's nice to have that suspension on them. If I could get one that is just a little bit stronger than some of those other scooters that I have, the, you know, commuter scooters, and add some suspension to it, we'd be talking. The brakes on this thing are really good, man. I mean, they are disc brakes, they're hydraulic. These are super stout disc brakes. And I mean, stopping, if I could actually make this thing skid to a stop if I wanted to, they're that good. So again, this is my first PEV/scooter, personal electric vehicle in this class. And I don't really know what I was expecting, but when I got on this thing, it was a little bit of a learning curve. I mean, it is super powerful and it's tall. It takes up a lot of room. I live in a condo, so that's something else to consider. If you've got a garage, you got no problem there. There you go. All right, so Alex was riding the Meepo V2 today, and yeah, so he was keeping up pretty well. But this scooter, it's pretty awesome. So what'd you think? How did you like the ride?
In all honesty, it was smooth, comfortable, and I could see myself riding it 100%. I really liked the suspension on it. It really felt like I was riding something rather than just getting beat up on tiny wheels.
Yeah.
You know.
So I had you riding in the easy mode, which is still, it's got some balls, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then I put it in the I took off the eco, I put it in turbo, and I put it on dual motors. How did that feel?
That was pretty big difference I've noticed. Just a little trigger pull and it was go time.
I like to say it's slightly terrifying.
Yeah.
Because I was terrified, man. The first time I put that thing on it, because I didn't really know, so I hit the throttle on that thing and it did a wheelie and peeled out at the same time. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got a lot of power, you can definitely tell. Well, Alex, thank you very much for helping me today.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's a pleasure.
It took about 3 weeks for it to arrive to me. It came by an actual freight company, so it wasn't, UPS or FedEx or something like that. And I believe the cost for shipping was around $650, so you do have to factor that into the final cost of it. But again, electric skateboards, some of them are $2,000, $3,000, so it's really not too crazy to consider under $3,000 for a giant scooter like this that it could be your commuter, man. I mean, this thing could take you, if you need to go faster on main roads, you could do that on those. So I don't know how waterproof this thing is. They say on the website that it's It's water resistant, but I don't know that I'd want to be caught out in a rainstorm in it or going through giant puddles. My verdict on this is that if you've tried other scooters and you absolutely are like, I gotta have more power, man, I need some suspension, and maybe you need something that you're, not just small commutes, I mean, you need to get across the entire town, this might be a good option for you. Just use caution because like I say, this thing is super powerful, man. I just keep that thing in eco mode and single motor and I'm good to go. So that is the Ultron X3 and I have got a ton of work ahead of me, man. I've got 5 electric skateboards in boxes waiting to be reviewed. I'm gonna get to those as soon as I can. I believe I have another electric bike on the way and another electric scooter. But I also have something that I've been waiting for since February. I just looked, February, the day before Valentine's Day, I special ordered a Kiesel electric guitar and that's supposed to be here May 23rd, which is today, through June 23rd. So anytime I could have this new guitar, and I just cannot wait. I'll be making some content with that as well. This channel's been around since 2013. It's always been about my passions and sharing them with you, and I really, really appreciate if you've been around that long, great. And if you're new to the channel, thank you very much. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, there is a red subscribe button down there and a notification bell. If you hit both of those, well, you get notified when I upload new videos. There is a thanks button down there if you want to send a monetary thank you and support the channel. Like I said, some of these things cost $600 just to get shipped. It's not inexpensive to run these channels with the cameras and lights and everything else, but if you'd like to help in that way, please go ahead and hit that thank you button. But other than that, the best way to support me is by watching this channel and liking what you see. But thank you for your support here on the channel. It means the world to me. It's very humbling and I really do appreciate it. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.